Hi, you're back with Dana on how to have a better day by doing the thing. So last time we talked about being stuck in a struggle, and the best course of action was to stop fighting, kind of float and go with the flow. And that can be great when it works, and sometimes we're stuck and we don't know how to relax. So this time we'll talk about ways to take baby steps in relaxing and just certain different ideas you might not have thought about to get some relief. So one thing that works for me, and I've used it in my work with muscle therapy, is to do hydrotherapy. And in very simple terms, just running cool water down your arms and hands for a few minutes, or down your legs, or just cooling off in the shower, running cool water at the end of your shower, can not only help you get some relief physically and kind of stop the cycle of pressure and frustration, but it can also bring emotions to the surface, making them easier to deal with if you want to. We've talked about armor before, and I'll build on that from time to time. So this time, in talking about armor, kind of picture a soda pop bottle with a lid on it that someone has shaken. And it builds up pressure, and this is kind of what happens to us sometimes in our bodies, where we feel tension, we feel pressure that's emotional, mental, and it turns physical and ends up hurting our bodies. So the thinking in terms of taking the pressure off little by little. Some ways to do that, like we talked about, the cool water. Healthy sex is wonderful in releasing pressure in our bodies and in our whole being. And another way that I've found to release pressure, especially if I'm feeling internal pressure that I put on myself, is I will allow myself to cry. Even if I don't have a reason or I'm not attaching it to something, just the act of physically crying can release some pressure for me. Many people cry out of frustration. That's a completely different thing that we can talk about in the future, productive ways to handle frustration and anger. So if you can do it, another way is to allow yourself to throw a tantrum, which some of us it wasn't okay when we were little, but you're in charge of yourself now. So if you want to go into your room in the privacy of your room and beat on the bed or yell into a pillow, can be helpful if you can do it safely. And also, the last thing I'll mention for tonight is exercise. So doing the thing with exercise would be to make your own plan based on what your body feels is right for it. And it has to do with self-awareness, taking the time to slow down and stop in the rat race, and know that it's okay to be constructively selfish. And when you do that, when you're in self-awareness and some self-discovery and you take that time, your body will start talking to you and you can listen and you will be able to hear what it's telling you. A few years ago, my body told me to jump rope, and even though it didn't really sound to my brain like the best thing, I found that listening to my body and jumping rope like it was telling me to do was a really good way for me to decrease my tension, mental and physical. And so your body will tell you if you slow down and listen to it. So I recommend some time that you can take for yourself to do that. So that's about it for now. And next time we will go over some highlights of the last videos to gain more clarity in how to have a better day. So goodbye for now. Thanks again for joining me.